Alrighty, it's 10 o'clock. I think we could begin. I'm sure if you guys participated prior, you might know me. My name is Crystal Feature, and I am the lead business development manager here at CareerSource Tampa Bay. And today I'm just going to give you guys some information on the Tampa Bay Summer Hires program, the summer program. If at the end I'll have the questions if you have any questions, but I'm excited. I'm happy to see a lot of you guys participating. So let's get the show on the road. I'm going to share my screen. One second. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning. So as you guys know that we will be launching our summer youth program this year, and I'm just going to give you guys an overview of what to expect. On the agenda we have, I have to move this out the way. We have what is Tampa Bay Summer Hires. If we have any new employers, this is the time for us to explain how the program works. We have the benefits of the program, how youth is eligible for the program, the employer process along with eligibility, the industries that we target every year, how mentoring and how it has impact on the youth. And obviously we have dates that are important, deadlines that we need to stick to, and then there's going to be question and answer session at the end. So the Tampa Bay Summer Hire program, the program should provide a learning, rich, subsidized work experience that offers youth an opportunity to participate in activities that are age appropriate, are designed to encourage the youth to take responsibility for their learning, to understand and manage their career options, and to develop social skills in an encouraging environment that will help them interact positively with others. It introduces youth to the world of work and helps them develop a thorough understanding of employer expectations, provides opportunities for career awareness and exploration, and it celebrates youth success. At this point, it says, why have a summer job program? We all know it's very important for the youth to stay busy during the summer, but it also has, we also have high youth unemployment rate in Hillsborough County, and this is one way to meet that gap. There's no centralized summer program initiative. This is our 5th year doing this program. It's been successful, and we've had a lot of feedback from different employers in the Hillsborough County community. So why not keep a good thing going? The benefits to the youth/young adult is that it's adults that it provides a once in a lifetime opportunity. A lot of our teenagers, they don't have jobs or have an opportunity to work in the workforce. So this is a great opportunity to get them prepared for adulthood. They gain valuable critical skills that employers want and need. That's a good thing. It provides exposure to new experiences and ideas. It provides opportunity for career exploration, networking opportunities, learn the value of earning wages. It stimulate Hillsborough economy, because that's one thing that we need. We have youth currently that started at 16, and some are still working with some employers in Hillsborough County. So it's all positive if you look at the deliverables that these youth gain at the end of the program. Now, the benefits to employers is that it develop and invest in future talent. It's like a pipeline. It mentors and motivates the youth/young adults, accomplish critical projects that otherwise you may not get to achieve because of it's time consuming, provide career exposure and career pathways to the next generation, stimulate and reinvigorate existing workers, hire and train at no cost to you at all, and we help develop talent. Our 2024 goals this year is to serve at least 1,000+ youth, engage 100+ employers, and teaching youth work skills and assisting employers with summer hiring needs. It's simple, it sounds simple, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of manpower, and that's why we really, really appreciate you guys for participating. So our focus here with the Employers Online is paid work experience, and you guys might know the acronym as PWE. And the focus this year, we have a few changes. The duration is 6 weeks at $15 an hour, with CareerSource Tampa Bay being the employer on hand, with a maximum of 29 hours a week. Workman's compensation is covered by the state of Florida Department of Economic Opportunity. And then we have the virtual career exploration, and that's also another program that they have. I think the age is from 15 to 24. And we also have the Leadership Academy Leaders of Tomorrow. I'm not going to go in depth with those programs because our focus right now is PWE. For the youth, the eligibility criteria is that they have to live in Hillsborough County, and they have to be between the ages of 16 to 24. And then obviously we have career counselors that have more eligibility requirements that the youth have to meet. They'll sit with the career counselor, they'll go over all that information, and once they're eligible, then they'll be good to attend all the summits and the programs where you guys will end up eventually meeting them. For the employers, the eligibility requirements for you guys is that you have to be a business in Hillsborough County as well. We accept nonprofits, government and private and for-profit employers. We have we focus on meaningful positions, and we do have targeted industries. Understand and commit to the mentoring. This part is very important. It's important because we want the youth to leave with gaining knowledge, gaining experience. So I look at the employers as mentors for these young adults. And obviously there's a process, and the process at the end is that when you guys meet eligibility, we are going to execute the paid work experience agreement. The process for you guys is that you guys are going to complete the online application. We have a link available for you guys to access that. We will review and determine the eligibility, and once we do that, we'll get notified, and you're going to get notified by a business development manager. That's who's going to be in contact with you, and then they're going to guide you on your next steps in the process on how to execute your agreement. We do on-site inspection. We have to come out there and make sure everything's up to par. Bathrooms are there. There's a place for the youth to have lunch. AC is available. So we do on-site inspections, and that's done by the BDM. And then you're going to sign all the paperwork, and then you're going to attend the youth summit. We conduct everything, like we track everything through CareerEdge, including their timesheets, which you guys will get more in depth once you guys have executed agreement. There's going to be I guess you could say a lib guide on how to enter time and how the time works. But in CareerEdge, you guys are going to get a password and a username, and you guys are going to be able to access it to input their time and have their timesheets as well as the candidates. The online application is similar to this one. It provides pertinent information of your business, I guess, like the FEIN, the address, how long you've been in business, how many employees you have. When you're filling it out for the training plan, enter up to 10 tasks that the youth will be performing. Ensure that the signing authority is available to sign the final agreement. Whoever's going to be responsible over the agreement needs to make sure that they sign off on it. And the BDM will go more in depth with you on the paperwork. We discussed timesheets. It's going to be in CareerEdge. You're going to get more information on that, and you're going to have, like I said, a little lib guide on how to enter the time. So during the 6 to 8 weeks, and then I'll explain why I say 6 to 8 weeks. During that time, we're going to have monitoring. We're going to be doing bi-weekly on-site visits. Some are planned and some are unplanned. That's going to be for the youth to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And this also gives the employer a chance to say, hey, this is what they're doing a good job, or maybe we need more coaching on this because they're doing this and this is not a part of my organization. And that way the counselor could work with the candidate on fixing these things. And that's why I'm expressing the mentoring, because a lot of these kids, they don't know. So it's our job to come in and fix any issues that we're having. And this is one way of doing it, having the planned or unplanned biweekly visits. It ensures that participants are aware of their activities and duties, as I mentioned. It's a time to discuss their progression and their personal development. And it just gives us continuous feedback on what we're doing, what type of candidate we have, and just fixing any issues so that they could finish the program successfully. As I mentioned before, we do have targeted industries in Hillsborough County that our program, I guess you could say, we try to stick to. So manufacturing and construction and building trades is one. We have hospitality and tourism, transportation, logistics, retail, financial shared services, healthcare, and IT, which covers majority of businesses and employers in Hillsborough County. But these are the targeted industries that we have. I'm not gonna read out all the positions, but these are the positions that the young adults are looking to work in. Like, just to give you guys an idea of when we vet these candidates, what they're requesting, what they're asking for. And so these are just some of them. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but you guys could take a look. Here are some survey results that we have. 95% reported that they were likely to participate again. It's a huge deal. 91% of the participants rated overall satisfaction. They enjoyed lunch and learn sessions. 96% of participants are likely to recommend the program to other youth. 91% of the participants were very satisfied with the financial literacy training. That's a big deal. That's something that we're trying to implement for youth to understand finances and how it works. So that's a big plus. 95% found the online assessments and activities meaningful, because before they come over to you guys, they do have courses that they attend to help them prepare to do the interview with you guys. So these are just feedbacks from what they were doing beforehand. Once again, that word mentor. The career coach and employer roles are basically, we have structured activities where the employer/supervisor offers guidance, support, and encouragement to develop the competence and character of the youth. Mentoring, foster career awareness and exposure, provides real-life on-the-job training experiences, and then they'll be assigned to a CSTB career coach that's also going to walk them through the process and walk them through the experience as well. Okay, so the Youth Summit this year, as opposed to last year, I think we had 5. This year, we're going to have 3 youth summits, and these are the dates, which, things change, but as of right now, these are the dates that we have for the first one, which is going to be North Tampa. Location and time will be available at a later date, but we have May 29th for North Tampa. We have June 3rd for the Brandon Riverview area, and then we have for South County, June 5th. So these are the 3 summits where if you fall into these areas, you guys will get an invite to attend these summits. The youth will attend customized work readiness, soft skills training, where they will learn communication skills, flexibility, interviewing skills, interpersonal skills, leadership skills, problem solving, and how to get and keep the job. Employers and direct supervisors will be invited to attend the job fair, as I mentioned, and will receive a supervisor orientation and be able to hire the youth in a face-to-face manner. I like to call it the job interview of speed dating. That's what I call it. But you guys will have the opportunity to talk to them and hire them on the spot, and that's our goal. We have some more key dates here. February 1st was the launch of the employer application. May 24th is where we're gonna, have a deadline because as you know, we're preparing for the start of June 17th. So we know there's paperwork involved, and we want the on-site visits to be completed. So the deadline will be May 24th, because we want all agreements executed in order to start. June 17th is the start date, and then the last day is July 26th. And as I mentioned before, I said I'll let you guys know why I mentioned 6 to 8 weeks, because there's possibility, if funding is available, for an extension that could take place from July 29th to August 9th. So there is a possible area where you could surpass the 6 weeks. Another thing I do want to mention is that if you guys did participate last year and you guys do have an agreement, unfortunately, a lot of things have changed. As you could see, the extension, it went from 24 to 29 weeks. The start date, there's differences there that we have to cover in our agreements, in our contract. So unfortunately, if you have a contract last year, you're going to have to do another one this year, because all the paperwork is different. Everything looks different. So if the BDM that you work with previously are reaching out to you and saying, hey, we got to do this process again, I do have to come to your place of business and do another on-site, is because we're having all our ducks in order, and that all the changes are, you guys are aware of all the changes that's taking place, and it's all documented and signed with our new contract. Okay. Okay, so I have provided a link for you guys here. I'm going to drop it in the chat. But you click the link, you fill out everything. They give you an opportunity to put multiple positions, and where you put all their duties, like I mentioned before, do the first 10 slots of what duties they're going to perform, so it won't be any issues with saving the documents. But this is a link where you guys will click on and start the process. And yes, if you did do an application prior, you're going to still have to, like last year, you're still going to have to complete an application. That's going to be your first step. Once the application is completed, a BDM will be contacting you. Leandra Foster is the director for the youth program, and Mario Rodriguez is the director for the employer side of things, which is called business services. And as mentioned before, I'm Crystal Feature, the business services lead. And then you have Daniel Copeland, who's the youth program coordinator. So these are just contacts that you guys could have if you have any more questions, to reach out if there's anything that needs to be escalated. On the next slide, I'm going to have you guys meet our team. So as you could see, we have what we call BDMs. And the BDMs are the ones that you're going to work with directly throughout the program, meaning until you execute your agreement. So all that paperwork, all the on-sites, everything that's necessary for the agreement, you will be working with either Melissa Nelson, she does healthcare and life sciences, Christopher Bailey, who's IT and call centers, Linda Parham, who does trades and transportation, Jesse Gonzalez, who's manufacturing, Caroline Guerrero, who's hospitality and tourism, David Robinson is finance, Jamel Wiles does professional services, and Andres Baez does transportation. So one of these BDMs, business development manager, will be reaching out once we receive your application to start the process with you and give you guidance on your next steps. Sorry. Now, with all of that information being said, are there any questions? I need to check the chat. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I work at a nonprofit where the youth that we're hoping to hire actually live here in the residential community. That also doubles as our program. Do they still have to go to this summit in order for us to interview them, or could they apply and then we just interview them directly on site since they all live here?
They'll still have to go through the process of going to the summit.
Okay.
They still have to go through the application process. They still have to go through the summit and attend all the courses. They have to do the whole process.
And then for the work readiness training, that's mandatory, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is that made available virtually, or they have to go somewhere to participate in that?
Honestly, because that's on the youth side, I would have to get more information for you on that. Just drop
Okay.
your information and because a lot of those courses are in person.
Okay.
A lot of the back, when they're doing the financial literacy classes, it's all scheduled and it's all in person. Let me see here.
So can you run through the process they have to go through again? I have that they have to apply by May 24th, then they
No,
wait a 10.
this is for you, because this is the employer side. On
Okay.
the youth side, I'm not sure of the cutoff dates, but you
Okay.
can contact, I could give you the contact and who to, could give you this information, because I don't know their cutoff dates, I don't know their schedules, but for you to apply for a program would be May 24th is a deadline.
Oh, okay. Who would I reach out to for the youth side? Because I want to make sure they have everything they need to.
Correct, that would be Leandra Foster. So I could drop her information in the chat and her email.
Okay.
First of
Thank
all,
you.
I'll assist Natalie. She's my employer. So
Oh, okay.
she's my partner. Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
I'll
So
send all that
Jesse's
information.
on.
Hey,
Okay,
Jesse. I didn't realize he was on the call. Hey.
he's on the call. So see that BDM right there, Jesse will guide you on get you all that information that's necessary.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jesse. I have a question here. Where is the application link, please? I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Let me see if I can do that right now. The BDMs also will be reaching out to you if you have any issues with the link. How many employees can an organization have? Will presentation be emailed? Yes. Organization can have as many employees as they have, or if you have 250, 10, as long as you have because I'm trying to understand this question. Are you saying how many candidates you could have? Is it Tawanda Bradley? Oh, okay. It's up to you. If you have room for 10 participants, then if you have 10 participants interested in your positions, then you can have all 10 there. You can hire all 10. So as much positions you guys have, you can put that on your application with hopes of filling all the positions.
First of all, in the past, we had employers that wanted a certain amount, and like you said, more candidates wanted to work, and they had accepted them. So yeah, they can have
Yeah,
additional.
additional as much openings that you have available, and you put it on the application, and we'll try our best to fill those positions. 1 second, I'm trying to get the link for you guys in the chat. Hopefully this works. And sent. Okay, I dropped the link to everyone in the chat. I'm hoping that it works. If it does not work, you please reach out to me. I'm going to drop my email in here, and I'm going to assign you to your right BDM, and they'll get you help and how to access the application, because if it's not working, we could also send you a PDF format. Clara. Okay, so the scale for the youth is $15 an hour. It doesn't change for across the board. Any position is $15 an hour. So for the interview process, like I mentioned before, we're going to have 3 summits this year, and the time and location will be coming to you guys at a later date. Obviously, the BDM are going to keep you guys in the loop, but that's where you do the actual interview and the hiring on the spot. Will be at the summit. Yeah,
Where would this?
the
Where
link
would
works.
this?
Good.
Excuse me. Where would the South? When you said South County, what are y'all considering South County? Like Wamama, Ruskin?
I think, honestly speaking, I'm gonna say yes to that area. Ruskin area will be considered South County. Wamama and I remember last year we did do a summit in that area, and that's was what we considered South County. How many hours minimum they need to work? So it's going to be a 29-hour minimum a week. So each candidate is eligible to work 29 hours a week minimum. And and you can't surpass the 29 hours either. You can't do 30, 31. That's the cap. I'm trying to read all the questions. I'm sorry. At the summit, after we see a candidate, we like, what will they have to do to be a part of the program? At the summit, if there's a candidate at the summit, they're already enrolled in the program and already eligible. When they get to you guys, they've already been through the process and then they're ready to get hired. Are all participants at least 18? No. So the program starts from 16 to 24. That's the cap is 24 and the youngest is 16. As for the hours, I was told it's 29 hours. I wasn't told that there's a minimum of 24. I was just told that it's 29 hours per week. What happens if the site only has 20 hours? With that being said, if the site has 20 hours, we're gonna have to discuss in more depth on like basically, because we want all the youth to get paid equally, more hours. That was a lot of the feedback that we got, is that the hours weren't enough. So if it's 20 hours, we could talk about it and see what the youth will be doing and how we could probably maximize, hopefully maximize the 20 hours. But a lot of I'm not going to say complaints. A lot of the feedback from the youth was that the 24 hours that we had last year wasn't enough. So to go to 20 hours is something that we're going to have to discuss. Do employers have to have a brick and mortar office? Yes, you have to have a brick and mortar. We cannot have youth working from homes of employers or outside of a brick and mortar. And this is why we do on-site assessments, because a lot of people want remote jobs and stuff like that. The way we see and picture the mentoring process is if the youth is stationed in an office setting or office environment. So it has to be a brick and mortar office. To have a virtual opportunity at this time to work virtual, we don't have that. As I mentioned before, because we want the youth in-house. So at this time, we don't have it. I could vet and see with the youth department. I could ask, there's nothing wrong with asking, but at this time, we don't have anything where it's virtual or remote for the youth. Yes, for signage, if you're only hiring for 18 and up, we can have signage on the table that says 18 and up. So that's fine. We could have signage if you only want to accept youth that's 18 and over.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I have my office, but this is in a residential area. I can do that work with the candidates.
You're saying your office is in a residential community?
No, I am in Avenue, but right now so far is residential. That will be commercial maybe in 1-2 years. But right now I have my office, as you can see back, in the residential area. This is Parsons Avenue. They can work here or not?
Yeah, so but I'm not gonna say yes because I have to look at the site. So the BDM will have to come out and assess what area you're talking about and how the site looks to make sure it's safe for the youth to work there. So I'm not gonna say yes now because I just see a background, but the BDMs will be out there to tell you yes or no.
Okay,
Is
okay.
it an office or is it at a home?
Okay, I bought a building, and in one side I put the office, and on another
But
side I have like a
it's
home.
fine. It's fine. We're gonna do the on-site, and I have somebody out there that could tell you if it's sufficient enough.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
I believe I understood you to say that the students will need to attend an orientation. If I have a person I've worked with in the past that is out of state right now because they're in college or coming home for the summer, how does that work?
Honestly speaking, and I'm just gonna be completely frank with you, they have to just fill out the application, and they have to be present in order to participate in the program. So whenever they get here, as soon as they get here, I mean, the application is it's online. They could do that, but as soon as they get there, they're gonna have to be at each session. They have to be present. It can't be there's nothing virtual at this time. So the person have to be here.
For the orientation?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so it says here, is there an opportunity for flex, remote, and in office? Like I mentioned before, at this time, everything is in office. I could talk to the director of youth, but she made it clear to me that it's in office. There's no remote or flex or virtual working at home. There's none of that. It's everything brick and mortar in the office. After we
When
apply,
you
go ahead.
quick question, when you ask that question about virtual for working, can you ask the question about virtual for that orientation? I understand there's one big orientation, but that's a big piece for me. For someone I have that I would like to work for me, and she's got to get out of college, got to be released from DC to get here. So I just need to see if that can be worked around.
Okay, I will see. And I don't want to put your hopes up, but I will ask and see if that's an option.
The summit is going to be in June, and usually colleges are that semester for the winter is done before June. There is a possibility if she can't do the first summit on what's it on the 29th, there's 2 more summits in June that they could attend.
Thank you. I'll check with her parents to see what her travel dates are.
Okay. It says here, after we apply the Tampa Summer Hires employer application, we will hear via email if we are approved or not approved. No, after you apply on the employer side, a BDM will reach out to you and start the process, which is going to be the on-site assessment. Make sure you have all your documents, the W-9, the business tax receipts. You have to have all those things together. Once all those things are there, the packets together, and it gets executed and signed off by our contracts department, that's when the BDM would then send you an email and stating that you are approved for the program and you're enrolled in the PWE Summer Hires. Clara Rodriguez, the candidate comes with experience, or do we need training them? I'm not sure what you're asking, because a lot of the candidates that are coming in are youth and probably have never worked before. So I'm going to say, when it comes to stuff like that and the mentoring that I mentioned, you're going to have to mentor and train these youth to get them up to par. So I hope I answered your question with that one. For Alvarez, I'm able to send you guys the link. When we're done and it's closed, I could send you guys the link for the for this presentation. So you guys will have a copy of this. Okay, for George, that question, can they ride along with technicians to visit clients to help do IT work? That's a question definitely we have to discuss with the director of youth and how that works, and with liability. And the BDM will get you those answers as well.
I have a question.
Yes, I'm here.
Do they have to work daily, or just a combination of days to equal 29 hours?
A combination of days. They don't have, if you want them to work Monday through Thursday, it's fine. If you want them to work Friday through Sunday, it's fine. Like as long as you have them accumulating the 29 hours a week. But it doesn't have to be consecutive Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, like that. Thank you guys. I have a lot of patience. The thing about it is my goal is that I want everyone on both sides. I want the candidates and I want the employers to be happy. And I just want it to flow. I want it to be a great 6 to 8 weeks. I want clear communication. I'm here. I'm available if you guys need me for any questions. If you think of a question after we get off the call, you guys could reach out, send via email. You could call me and ask me, because I just want a successful summer program. And I think that if we have this clear communication and all questions are answered on both sides, it will be successful. Oh, let me drop my email. I'm sorry. I promised that I would.
Crystal.
Yes.
My name is for employers. My name is Christopher Bailey. I do IT and call centers, finance as well. If you have a candidate that you want to work with, that's a student, of course, they have to apply and be vetted to see if they're even eligible. So just to let you know, they're not automatically eligible because you're in the program. They have to be vetted to see if they're going to be eligible first. So that process has to happen, immediately, because they're vetting students right now. So please, if you do have somebody that you think is great for this program and you would like to work with them, they have to apply through the process and be vetted through the process.
Correct. Can they work weekends? Yes. In the past, we've had candidates work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. It's up to you, whatever you guys have available, the schedule, but weekends are included in that schedule.
Yes, that's the beauty of you guys interviewing them, like that's the speed dating that Crystal mentioned. That way, if there's a candidate that you guys like, but the schedule doesn't work, then you will move on to the next candidate. So
Yeah.
so that's the reason for the summit and meeting these candidates.
I have a question that's asking, is there resumes that we can review before the summit? Unfortunately, no. Everything that you guys are going to get from these candidates, we included resumes, is going to be the day of the summit. And hence, as I mentioned and Jesse just mentioned, the speed dating setup that we have. So we don't have resumes beforehand. The best way to contact me, I work very well with either or, phone call or emails. I prefer emails. But if you email me and I'm not responding, which I try my best, I get a lot of emails, you could call me and I have my phone number there. Any more questions? I don't want to hold you guys. I know everybody have, business to do, but like I said before, if you don't have any more questions right now and you think of a question, you guys can email me or call me. And I hope to have an answer. Hold on. So do we have to interview everyone who's interested during the summit, or could I solely interview teams from the community / nonprofit I'm representing? I would say yes. Even though you have in your mind who you're going to hire, I would not want you guys turning the youth away. That could probably, lower their morale, and probably they would think to themselves, maybe I shouldn't go anywhere else. So I'm going to say, for just the sake of mentoring and trying to encourage them, still interview them. That's also giving them experience so that when they do move on to the next employer, they have that experience in answering questions. So I will say to, yes, interview them still. You don't have to hire them on the spot. You don't have to say, yeah, you're hired, but still give them that grace. All right. Any more questions? Yes. So now you have up to 29 weeks. Like we said, that's the max. It's 29 weeks. We could discuss with your BDM if you want it at 20 hours, 24 hours, but there's a max of 29 weeks now. And the program is 6 weeks with a tentative extension of 2 more weeks after that. I guess it's up to the employer, the budget, and the BDMs will tell you guys, hey, we have openings to do 2 more weeks of the summer program. But right now it's the 6 weeks that we have that's concrete. And it starts June 17th. I'm sorry, how is the summit interview process organized? Do we have set time slots for interviews and they just walking? And so basically it's going to be set up in a room like a job. If you've been to a job fair, you have different tables aligned. You'll be there. You're going to set up, have your information ready to go. And they're going to come in and they're going to walk up to you and you're going to interview them right there on the spot. And you vet if you want to hire that person or not. And if you want to hire them, you can't wait until the next day or it has to be right then and there. You're going to fill out the paperwork that they have with the schedule and everything, and then they're hired, and you're going to see them on June 17th at your at the office.
I'm sorry, I might have missed this. I have a question. Are you going to be doing the summits or the interview sessions are going to be in each individual town like they were last year? I know we're in Plant City. Are you having one in Plant City, or is it going to be down in Tampa like it was by the mall or whatever before?
Yeah, we're not doing the 5. We cut it down to 3. So if you're in Plant City, most likely you're going to be attending probably the Riverview, the area, that one. I think that's the one that's on May 29th. But we're not doing the 5 that we had. We're just doing the 3 at a time. Let me see if I have the exact date for the one that's in the Riverview area. So I guess I'm sorry, the Brandon Riverview area will be June 3rd. And then we have one in North Tampa on May 29th, and then the South County is June 5th.
And what is the time? Is it all day or is it a couple hours?
No, we don't have the time yet. We're still working on time and location, but the BDMs will let you guys know and give you all this information.
One last thing. I know we requested the PDF. Are you going to be emailing that after this, you said?
Yes, it's going to be the link to this this session right here. And I'm doing another one in March, and that date is also tentative, but we will send out this recording to you guys.
But the paperwork, though, is it that we need to fill out? Is that on a PDF format, or where do we access it?
The paperwork is in the link that I sent in the chat. You click the link and then it opens up and it's fillable. Yes. And you press save and it sends it over to me and I receive your application.
Okay. And then you give us a confirmation that you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
The confirmation will be a BDM reaching out to you to schedule your on-site assessment.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
I have another question, just for clarity, because I was driving, listening. So a lot of dates was given, and the presentations were being shared. Will that PDF be shared with us so we can see all this? Because I may not want to listen to everything, but just need to see all the dates.
Yeah.
And information like that.
Once you fill out the application and your BDM contacts you, they could send you the dates via email. You have all that information once you say, yes, I want to participate. We have your application. All those dates are going to be sent to you and discussed as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I have a question. I'm sorry, I might have missed it. I accidentally disconnected and it logged back in. If this position entails, I know you mentioned earlier in your presentation at the beginning, regarding workers' compensation. The workers' comp is covered by the state of Florida. Of course, that's, working in the facility. But will all these individuals have like their own vehicles of transportation to work and, to and from work? And could they use their vehicle, let's say if our position as like an assistant, so to speak, like if they have to return samples or go run errands and pick up things, and can they do such a thing while they're on the clock?
No, okay, so I'm going off of last year. I don't know if it changed this year. That's another question for the director. Last year, they were not allowed to drive or leave the site.
Okay.
And when it comes to the youth, a lot of them, they don't drive and their parents are dropping them off to work.
Okay.
So this is me going off of last year. I doubt that it has changed. You don't have youth driving around, dropping things off or picking things up.
Got it. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that right there.
Just a quick question. If we go ahead now and state, hey, we're looking at possibly taking on 2 people, and, I meet with the rest of my leadership team at work and we decide, hey, we could take on a couple of more, can we change that number as the process goes along?
So here's what I'm going to suggest. And the reason why I suggest this is because it becomes cumbersome, because if you're doing the paperwork and let's say you have 2 positions for cleaning, right? And that's all you put on there. It's going to, and then you have 2 more positions for a garbage truck driver, just an example. You're going to have to amend your agreement, and that's more paperwork that you're going to have to do, and it's going to put a pause on your agreement until you add those positions in there for you to be able to go to the summit and hire somebody for those agreements. So my suggestion for you guys is you vet everything that you need before you put everything on that paperwork, because everything takes an amendment or we have to go back because it's agreement. So if you know that you potentially might need 2, I would double it and just put 4 on the application so that we know and aware that you might have 4 later on, but it's still there. That room is still there to wiggle and add 2 more people. But for your sake, for you guys' sake, I would add everything now so you won't have to do anything later with the paperwork.
Perfect.
If that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, if it happens to, so we're a community organization, a faith-based community organization.
Okay.
And so we'll be doing, as part of our activities, sports and different kind of arts. Some of that might be taking place on our campus outside of the building. That satisfactory?
Yes, that's satisfactory.
Okay, let's imagine we were also going to be doing so there's, in this we're just in one neighborhood. So let's imagine we're going to be doing a game at the Grant Park, because that's where we are, is in Grant Park, the community center, which happens not to be on our actual campus site, but it's at the park. Would that be permitted?
So here's that shouldn't be a problem. The thing is that if they're on your site, right, how are they getting to the park?
Right. Well, we have vans or we can walk, either one.
Okay, that's fine. So now that we know that, right, and you're fully aware, my BDM could do your on-site and check the park too, like to just make sure everything is fine at the park. That's how it will work. And if they say, hey, there's nothing there that the teen is going to get hurt or whatever, that's fine.
Sounds good.
All right.
If okay, I might ask another question. If there is an issue with, let's say we bring on a candidate, right? Like we choose a candidate that we want to work with us and we see that they're not working out. How does that work?
So, great question again. And remember I mentioned mentoring. So this is where the unplanned and planned on-site visits take place. When you have the unplanned visit, or you can plan a visit as well with the career counselor and bring them in and discuss that, hey, let me give you an example. Your job, you can't be on the phone, but you notice that the teen is constantly on their phone. You bring that career counselor in and you say, hey, they're doing everything they're supposed to do, except for they're always on the phone, right? With hopes that that career counselor will pull that teen aside and talk to them about it and let them know that, hey, if you're constantly on your phone, this job might not be for you. And we hope with you that's, you know, that you're mentoring them would give them the opportunity after the career counselor has talked to them about it to bring them back on and vet them for the next week or so to see if they're listening, has their behavior changed. And you're also there to say, hey, I know your counselor talked to you about this, but you already know you're not supposed to be on the phone. It's mentoring and showing them that this is real life. Like when you go to certain workplaces, you can't be on your phone.
Yeah.
So if whatever is not working, that counselor is there to you know, coach them alongside the employer as well to get better at what they're doing or not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. I used to be a foster parent, so it's almost within the same realms of sort of doing something like that. So is there any information that a company may have that we can't give them access to? Like, obviously, for me, I work with George, I'm in the IT field, but I am the office accounting manager. I might not want someone to have access to our bank accounts or anything like that. But if they have to go on time, or if we have to go on site or whatnot, there's obviously going to be certain candidates that if their background check comes back that there's been theft, right? Like if they have grand theft or anything like that, we can't have them go on site with the technician. Is all of that stuff usually included beforehand, or is that only when we request it?
That would be something that, because you have to remember, we're the employer on site. So whatever you get at and hire, that's what it is. We don't do that on our end. So I would suggest that you move strategically when it comes to pertinent information on your site.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. Go ahead.
Hey, no problem. So it might be that over the summer we do a field trip with the kids. Is it okay for your agent there to?
That's okay.
Okay,
That's fine. They're going to be on the bus with you. The kids are going to be on the bus and they're like a counselor basically. So that's fine.
Perfect.
Now, what's not fine is the kids being in the car with the counselor. We don't do that.
Help me out.
Meaning like if they're driving, we can't have them driving the van or their car to take the kids anywhere.
Yeah, understood. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Natalie?
Yes, ma'am. So I see it keeps getting referenced that it's like speed dating. I know that with speed dating, usually at the end of the event, people will essentially say which individuals they're interested in. But it sounds like at the summit, if we're interested in someone right then in that moment after they've given their elevator speech, then we have to fill out the form essentially saying we're good to go. So if we know that, for example, we only have 2 slots and we fill out that form for 2 people, but then an hour later we meet someone who we think is a better fit, there's no going back from that point, right? So we just have to, in the moment, be very intentional of if this is the perfect fit, if not, hold off. Because we only have X amount of slots and we do have to fill out that paper right then and there. Is that correct?
Correct. And the holding off is even an issue too, because you might hold off and that person that you're holding off on is going to get hired somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you have to be intentional and you have to say, hey, this sounds like, if this person sounds like someone that's a fit, I would suggest that you hire them on the spot.
Okay, and then if we know we already have 2 slots and we've already filled out 2 of those forms for folks, then at that point, we just make sure we tell everyone we've already filled up our slots.
Yep, and you're welcome to leave at that point.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I have another question saying, what about if they don't show up consistently? That's another coaching thing right there. If they're not showing up consistently and when they do show up, you need to let the counselor know right away that, hey, we're having issues with time showing up, and that's a conversation that has to be had. And if we have the coaches coaching them and you don't see any changes, you let that counselor know and we'll take it from there. Any more questions? I'm here.
What if a person quits? They just stop coming. What do we do?
Okay, so that's very, very unfortunate. And the only thing right now on the top of my head that I can think of is that because we have what you call like year-round youth, we could vet other candidates for you, but if they're not there and they don't reach your expectation as well, unfortunately you just won't have someone working there. And that's what we try to prevent from happening. But we do have other youth that might be eligible, or if they're still looking for a position, we could probably pair them with you to see if they're a match and if you hire them on. But we really don't want that. We don't want anyone quitting. So that's where the mentoring comes in, to try and prevent that from happening. And we could also discuss this offline again on other alternatives, but I know that's one of them that we could have, like other candidates that weren't placed, and try to pair them with you and your organization.
Now, dear lady, I know you. Ooh, I know I didn't just hear you let it slip out of your mouth that you have something outside of the summer courses, or you have students that are year round.
Yeah, we do.
No,
I mean,
you
we have students, and a lot of them are going to be participating in that program. But if something like that happens, it's a way of stepping in and saying, hey, you know, maybe this candidate could work. And if the candidate doesn't work, then that you just have a vacant spot for the summer.
Okay, now outside of the summer, you have students that are available year round?
We have students because we have cohorts for different employers. So, and that's another program. If you are interested, it's not the same program. If you're interested in that, that's another program, another agreement that you would have to complete, which the BDM again can help you complete that as well. But yes, we do have a PWE, paid work experience program, that is year round.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the BDMs are going to, so let me tell you guys, we do have multiple programs. And while you guys are doing Tampa-based summer hires and you're with the BDM, use that time to talk about other programs that we have. We have more programs on hand. Any more questions, guys?
I have a question, but you already said that we can get in touch with other departments to learn more about the programs, but because I'm really interested in the full year program.
When you have your BDM, tell them, listen, I'm interested. Crystal mentioned more programs, and I'm also interested in those programs. Can I have some more information on that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your patience. I really appreciate your questions. I have some homework to do, which I'm going to do, and fine tune these the questions about virtual working and remote and flex. These are good questions, and so I'm going to try my best to get it out to the BDMs, the answers, so that they can answer your questions when you guys are paired with the BDMs.
Last question, what does BDM stand for?
Okay, so BDM is going to be your business development manager. It's just long and it couldn't fit on the slide, but that's who we're going to be contacting you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you have any more questions, you can reach out to me via email or phone. I'm here to answer all your questions and help as well. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for attending this information session.